Hey everybody, I'm here with Tommy with Orange Inspection Services, and we are going to chat today about squirrels and trees. How are you
Squirrels
doing, Tommy?
something that seems so pleasant and otherwise innocuous, but unfortunately, when it comes to your home, they're more of an issue than people can recall. So I'm over here. I'm on a roof in the area of the hourglass. Actually, up behind me in the distance there, that is a beautiful view of Lake Arnold. So quaint, good.
Nice.
I love it over here. Um, Client has purchased this house and has been renovating it. So it's nice to see some of the things that they've done, including removal of. There was a leaking chimney. The chimney's been removed. I guess they still need to have the roof patched. And that chimney was transite, so asbestos cement. So obviously very important to get rid of that. So they've already gone through that process, and now they need to have a qualified roofer come in and patch. But I'm going to touch on something that this was a perfect house to bring it up. They've already done a lot to correct the issues from where I'm standing, but I want to go over kind of the other things that people may not think about when it comes to trees and how they relate to your house. So as you can see, I'm in a tight little canopy over here, up over my shoulder. When I inspected this home, these tree branches, was an elderly woman owned the home, couldn't take care of that, and they were touching the roof. Over time, they caused a fair amount of damage. You can see areas of wear. Now, they didn't do enough damage where the roof covering needs to be replaced, but, when you see this amount of granule loss, that, this is going to fail as a result of that wear before the overall rest of the roof covering. And, really, the way you get your money's worth out of a roof is by having it last as long as possible. So the other thing
that's just to clarify. So like trees that are just overhanging excessively and just blowing back and forth and just rubbing on the granules.
Oh yeah, like
okay.
The most soft. Let me see where you. I was just a silhouette. The most soft leaves, like even like a royal palm, and those are the ones with the real gossamer soft.
Right.
We all dream of being on the beach under. They will, in a steady breeze back and forth, they will act like a broom and just keep sweeping until I probably have pictures on file somewhere where they've gone all the way through the shingles down to the decking.
Wow.
So, you got to figure the Grand Canyon just trickling water for hundreds of millions of years. You give something enough time, it's going to do some damage, and a year passes pretty quick. So it's all about staying on top of things. So it looks to me that they've come through and they've had these trimmed. I can actually see the pruning marks, and they did a pretty good job. Looks like a couple spots probably need to be taken back again. Again, it's been a while since I've been here. But another thing we should talk about is vegetative debris accumulation. While this is not extreme, there is at least a decent amount of roof slope here. Now, if this was a roof slope like over here at the rear patio addition on the home, you and I have had our experiences where, we've had grass growing on the roof of the house, and believe me, that's going to be bad. So vegetative debris growth will reduce the lifespan of a roof covering if not kept in check. I thought I might have had some moss growth over here that I could show you guys. Yeah, here's some minor. Here's another thing that I can show you. You might be able to see this moss growth right here. And this particular type of growth will actually set its roots up under the edge of the shingle. And over time, that can start to delaminate the shingle layers and cause deterioration. So it comes back to keep the trees off the roof, keep the debris off the roof, and keep the life, in it. So let's start talking about our lovely little bushy-tailed friends, the squirrels.
Yeah, they're driving me crazy this time of the year. They think my Jeep is a playground.
We all love squirrels, and they're cute, but maybe not a guest you really want in your home, especially in your attic space. Now this house was lucky. This type of vents that they use, the house is from 1958 or 9, I believe. Super heavy metal screening, but Once you get up into like the later years, that's not really the case. And they can chew right through a lot of like the screens at the backside of vents and make their way into things. The easiest way to get squirrels in your house, not just squirrels, rats also, so rodents in general, is by having trees that hang real close to your roof or touch your roof. Because you've basically created a highway express lane from wherever they're at on the ground to an area that's high and access to an area that's dry and warm. Believe me, they
and
want
safe.
Yeah, they
And
want to be
safe for them, yeah.
It's dry, it's warm. They've got all the fiberglass in the world that they can make a nest in. And believe me, when they do that, if they do it pervasively enough, I mean, what was one of the last estimates I got? I think it was $2.50 per square foot for full removal. Now, this was an outright infestation. I mean, you opened the attic hatch and the urea smell and the chemicals and their droppings are a health hazard.
Yeah.
I almost knocked me out of the attic. So this is a health hazard to whoever's moving in. So they came in, had all the blown insulation removed, all of the surfaces sanitized, from where the droppings and such had been. So they vacuum it all out. They suck it all out with special equipment. And then about 40 to 50 cents a square foot to have it reinstalled. So that's around $3 a foot. So quick math, $3,000 per 1,000 square feet of insulated attic space. It just gets expensive, and it gets expensive really quick. So that is the biggest thing we want to try to prevent. But another thing that people may not be aware of is rodents of all type, by their nature, their teeth grow continuously.
Mm-hmm.
That's how their whatever their evolution is, that's how they do it. And so they must maintain their teeth by chewing and gnawing on things. Well, one of the things they love to do, and I'm going to give you a prime example. I'm going to have to kind of do some little acrobatics here and try not to fall off this roof.
I was about to say, you're on a roof.
I am, but I do this every day. So right here, we have a vent stack, and I'm using my front-facing camera, so I'm trying to get these pictures as best I can. So what they do is they chew to wear their teeth down, and they absolutely love. This is candy. This is Taco Tuesday. This is their favorite night of the week, to come and chew on some plumbing boots, because it is soft, it's yielding, and it does a very good job of chewing down their teeth. So they will come around and they will chew out all of your vent boots. And I can always tell you, I'm sorry, you might have lost me there for a second.
Yeah, you're there.
Okay, so I can always tell you that I have never found this damage on a roof. Okay, now this requires replacement of the plumbing boot. This is good. I'm assuming the roofer's coming to replace where the chimney was, is also going to replace these boots that are damaged. If it's minor enough, you can maybe caulk it in and try to stop that, which is actually the long-term cure, and I'll explain that. But replacing this boot is opening up the area around it, because it has a flange. So you're going to remove at least probably 2 feet by 2 feet. So about 4 square feet of roofing to patch this. And the reason it has to be patched is, as of right now, every time it rains, water's going into the attic at all of these points. So this is an active roof leak caused by something as simple as a squirrel deciding it wants to chew on something. So
Right.
these are very, now luckily for this client, where the damage is worse on the boot, it's out over the soffit. So it's mostly just been leaking water down and through and into a metal soffit area. The staining and indicates that, but it hasn't done a lot of damage now. But if this was, say, right over the kitchen or the master bathroom where a lot of vent stacks are located, it would have done a lot more damage. The cure for this is, of course, trim the trees. Then secondary to that, it's honestly as simple as a qualified roofing company, the better ones, when they install vent stacks in an area that may have rodent activity, they'll put a big old bead of neoprene roofing cement or a silicone roofing cement. Reason being is it's soft, and if the squirrels try to chew on it, it's like chewing gum. It doesn't wear their teeth down, so they just give up and leave. So it is one of those things where the solution is so simple, but it's just that important. So that will probably be what gets done here to prevent that from happening again. So we had roof contact over my shoulder. we once again, looks like we've had some roof contact over here where it's grown in. And this area was actually among the worst over on this corner, and they have already had the tree removed. It was about a 12-foot tall tree. Looks like they've already had someone come and trim that out. So, yep, that's all that's left. Bushy growth. So these things are happening here to make things get repaired, but unfortunately, it's one of those things where a stitch in time really would have saved 9. So we've got damage that's going to need to be addressed by a qualified roofer in areas that are going to fail premature to the roof covering. So probably looking at some patches by about year 15 or 16, when if this had been caught in time, could have been 20 years without any problems. So one of those important things.
Yes. Well, that's all good information. And that's something that we talked about one time before, is that, you don't know what you don't know. And a lot of homeowners aren't up there on their roof looking at it the way that you are. So whether you're a seller and considering thinking about selling, and it's a good idea to do a home inspection. This is one of the great reasons why it's important to do that. And absolutely for a buyer, always buyers get a home inspection. I even promote that on new construction. But this is another perfect case in point. If you've got a beautiful house, obviously a new house, you're probably not going to have something like this, but someone who's had a very well maintained house and kept it really well, and they may not be looking at it from this standpoint. So something definitely to be aware of, like for buyers or for sellers. So, so thank you so much for all the information today. And I definitely learned a few things.
I love it. This has been a lot of fun. I hope we keep this going, and I'll keep trying to come up with the things that, people know about wood rot and smoke detectors and keeping, those are the things that we think of. Your average person knows, hey, this is important. But, something as simple as a tree touching a house, it's something that the average person wouldn't go, oh, I got to get on that immediately before I have hundreds of dollars of repairs that are needed. So I want to keep doing this with you, see if we can keep spreading some good information to our mutual client base and keeping everybody informed.
Absolutely. Well, thanks, Tommy. Be safe from getting down from that roof.
You bet. Good talking to you today, Misty.
You too. All right. Bye-bye.
Here. Safe.